everybody. Welcome to Outside the Sanctuary, Emmanuel Baptist's podcast.
Sort of.
No, it is. You can subscribe, like, do whatever. I don't know. I got nothing. I'm Bill Merkh. Today I am joined by two co-hosts, and we have a special guest. So we're going to, you just tell who you are.
Marc McCleary.
Oh, nice. Hey, Mark. How are you, buddy?
Right, yeah.
It's good to see you again. And
Katrina McDonald.
awesome.
Here.
Awesome. So this guest, I actually went to high school with.
This is true.
And so I apologize. And, all the things I probably said in high school or did, I'm just going to get that out of the way now, just so we're clear. But anyway, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dori Straub. I'm an area coordinator for Operation Christmas Child in New Jersey. One of the
Awesome.
many.
So that's why we have her on, because of Operation Christmas Child. That's the
And it's
title.
coming. Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming. So tell us what Operation Christmas Child is.
Yeah, so Operation Christmas Child's a ministry of Samaritan's Purse.
Okay.
They do all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
One of the good things they do is this ministry where they invite families, individuals, churches, groups to pack shoe boxes full of all kinds of good stuff. But that's not really the point. The point is that they take these shoe boxes and distribute them around the world and share the gospel every time.
That's awesome. Now, we do it at church, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we do.
I know we do it at church because we do it every year. I fill them up. And
Awesome.
so tell like
You
where,
go shopping
where
for the box, right?
There you go.
You can put in the box whatever little goodies that you find
All kinds of good
geared
stuff.
towards girls and boys.
Yeah, so you start by deciding, am I packing for a girl? Am I packing for a boy? And which age group? 2 to 4, you've got 5 to 9, or you've got the 10 to 14s.
Yeah. And if you need any ideas, my mother-in-law just took my daughter to fill the box last week. So she bought some duplicates because Audrey, my daughter, was very excited about what this little girl is going to get. So they put a lot of heart
How
into
old
it.
is Audrey?
She's 4.5.
Nice.
4.5.
4.5.
Well, thanks for not doing months. I appreciate it.
I can't do past 12 months. I'm done counting after that.
I don't care.
So, yeah,
So
but it
how
was very
big are these
exciting.
boxes?
Yeah.
I mean,
They're like literally the size of a shoebox. You know
Average
better.
shoebox,
But when I saw it, I thought that's a decent sized box of goodies. And she packed it full. So, yeah.
Yeah, you start with the wow gift. Something that the kids are going to go, wow. Maybe a soccer ball and a pump. You got a stuffed animal, a doll, Lego kits, something that's more substantial.
Yeah.
Right? It might take up a little more space, but it's well worth it.
Right.
You want to add some of the school supplies, right? And you can really.
that's not a wow gift.
That's
Special.
okay. So we got
For some people, right?
Really?
Special pencils, special erasers, like fun
So I got to tell
things
you,
like that.
Justin's story. I heard about Justin. I actually met Justin at a church not too far from here. I think it was Mount Laurel. He came and visited on his tour, and his big item was pencils. He was the youngest of several boys in a family, and he said his whole life he had gotten the nub of the pencil. It was passed down, right? So
Hey, look at that.
and so when he opened up and got new pencils,
He was so excited.
that
That tracks because my kids fight over pencils at home too. They want the nicest, best sharpened. They want the best ones.
Well, I tell you,
Mark
it's different
likes
in
the
our
little pencils, right? You like the little pencils, but usually just to fill out your golf card, right?
That's right. If I'm playing golf, I like it. Otherwise,
that
I'm
mini
not a big
golf?
fan.
That must be mini golf.
Either golf. Yeah. It needs to have an eraser, though, in case the other person's doing
Yeah,
better than
some
me.
games don't have
Erase
erasers.
the score and change it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So, so what was wrong
All right,
about
so
the pencils?
pencil, school supplies.
Yeah, and then maybe some hygiene items.
Okay.
We used to be able to have things like soap and toothpaste, but we can't do that anymore because of customs. So they're really you gotta
Really?
be
Even the
careful.
travel size?
No, yeah, nothing
Wow.
like that. So customs started holding up the boxes.
Oh.
They started realizing in certain countries things weren't getting in, and so anything that's going to stop the gospel,
They're gonna not.
say, we're not just going to do soap anymore.
That's fine.
But we
Yeah,
could do
I understand.
washcloths, we could do toothbrushes.
Okay.
So now,
Okay, yeah.
do they actually go through the boxes to check to see if there's any of these items that aren't allowed before they send them over?
I mean, last year we did 12 million some.
Right.
I don't think that every country does
Yeah.
it that
Well,
extreme.
I was more
but
talking
I
about
do
Samaritans
think
first. Do they check, or is it all based on?
They do.
Yeah.
So after we pack them here and you send them to your drop off and then they head to the processing center, that happens in Baltimore. We're invited to go and help go through the boxes where you check for that kind of thing. You make sure, because, once in a while you get somebody who decided shampoo, conditioner, and body wash were good ideas.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
No liquids. So like that empty box needs to get, filled with some more
Redistribute, yeah.
stuff and like camo, right? You got to be careful about like war things because you got to be careful because of the countries they're going to. So anything like that, they're careful to take out. But most boxes are great.
So like what countries do they mainly hit?
Yeah.
There's 118.
Oh, okay.
There's so
And
many
name 'em.
countries.
No.
Yeah, right.
Name the ones you don't go to. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, by then, yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, that.
In alphabetical order.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did
pressure.
you get involved in this?
Yeah. This is a sad story.
Oh,
I wish
no.
I had such like a great testimony about it. It's
Okay.
really,
Give it to
it's
us.
really sad. All right. So I was an Awana commander many moons ago.
Okay.
And you get into like, this is my ministry, right?
Yeah.
You get these thoughts thinking something. Well, at some point, I guess in the fall, somebody said, "Oh, and here's the ministry you're gonna do. You're gonna pack shoe boxes for Operation Christmas Child." And I went, okay. And I was like, why don't I get to pick what ministry we do?
Yeah.
And so I looked into it, watched the videos they gave, started sharing with the kids. And I'll tell you, after packing one box, I was hooked. Got so into it. I loved it. And now, I'm like 4 volunteer jobs down the road.
Oh,
Here
wow.
we are. But
That wasn't sad. I thought we were going to be like,
Yeah. I thought it was
You know,
going to
like-
be.
and then there was a head in a box. And we were like, you know what? Enough of the 7. So.
We need a different person to do this.
Yeah,
So-
you got to do it.
pride, it just gets you, and you gotta clear it out.
Yeah.
I was young and
makes
dumb
sense.
back then.
So they came to you at your job, at your church. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
the office probably said.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey.
Dory
There you
likes
go.
to pack boxes.
I was like,
No.
what? A box.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we usually do 2 boxes, and then Lisa's sister does 2 boxes, and
Mm.
so we'll do 1 boy, 1 girl.
Mm-hmm.
So now I know they used to have it where you could pack a box and then you would give the donation to help cover it. But then if you weren't able to pack a box or you didn't want to necessarily pack the box, you could just give money and somebody else would pack a box for you. Is that's still something they do?
Yeah. So there's a couple different ways to do it, right? You can pack your own box, and they do ask that you provide the $10. It's the suggested donation. But of course, if you've ever tried to ship anything anywhere, $10 is actually quite a bargain.
Yeah.
Fuck $70 to Peru or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's say you can't. You can pack a shoebox online, and actually, Mark, you can pick on your own what you want to put in it now. It's progressed. You click. I want to pack a shoebox, and it takes you through the steps. So for $30, you're shipping it, and you're picking like your 14 things that you want to put in.
Okay.
And then after all the regular processing center stuff happens, like ours is in Baltimore, but there's 8 stations around, the United States. There's actually some in some other sending countries as well. Then the holidays happen and everybody's like takes a break. But then in January, people that picked Build a Shoebox online, they open up, a warehouse where volunteers go and pack the people's shoeboxes for them.
Mm.
So is this an all year thing?
I was just about to say.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it really is.
Why didn't you? Sorry. Go ahead.
You read your mind.
I guess
Is that
so.
what happens here?
No, no, it would be like, what is another country?
Nobody wants to get in Bill's mind.
I was saying, like, is
That's-
Florida another country?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, let that one go. All right.
Geography.
Yeah.
We've realized
Certain parts of Florida are another country, actually.
that is
Depends on what part. of it.
sorry.
Okay.
We'll go back.
That's why everyone likes you more.
God, I apologize.
Sorry,
We go
Dori.
off the rails here.
Yeah.
Good. I forget the question.
Was it really that important? No, I'm just kidding.
Really
Go ahead.
was.
What's
No,
your
we-
question?
we-
Now I forgot.
You're asking, is it year round?
Yes. Is it year round?
Thank you. Okay. So people pretty much gear up in the fall, right? And that's most everyone's idea of it. Collection week always happens the week before Thanksgiving. So the Monday of Thanksgiving week is the last day boxes are collected. But then the processing center happens over the next month. And so there's stuff still going on then. I'm part of the year-round team.
Okay.
And so we actually work all year encouraging churches, community groups, looking for, say, fall festivals or national night out events to go have tables and encourage, communities and just encourage our team, So throughout the year, we're doing what we can. There's different seasons that our team participates in. So like after we collect all the boxes, we have a church relations team that's going to call all the churches and thank them or write thank yous or, that kind of thing. And then we have a season end of the spring into the summer where we want to try to engage new groups or new churches. And
Is it predominantly churches that do this, or do you have businesses that do it too?
it is predominantly churches, but I mean, it's exciting to see the different community groups that have one of the military groups in our area is having a packing party soon. Because there's a lot of groups. So we used to have it's the aquarium. The Camden Aquarium used to pack and deliver to my
Really?
church. So that was so cool. They even brought the Action News team one year.
Wow.
Cool.
That's interesting. That was exciting, I'm sure.
It was so exciting.
Yeah.
Now, how big is your team?
So my team actually only started last February.
Okay.
Before that, it was part of a larger area. So it was Art's team. The six counties of South Jersey.
Okay.
So he still has Cumberland, Salem, and Cape May.
Okay.
And then I took over Camden, Atlantic, and Gloucester counties. And so when the team multiplied, I got the drop-offs he had, which was, I think, 6 sets of people and no other team members. So we've got a prayer team. We've got a church relations team. We've got a community team and a student relations team. But when it started, it was the drop-offs and me.
Yeah.
And that was that. And now we've got people on every team. I think we have about 19 of us. That's really exciting.
Ah, that's really cool.
You said the high school team?
Student relations.
Student relations team. So does that mean that high school students can do this too? Or do you go into schools and promote
So
this?
I don't know that we go into schools so much as, think about even at a public school, you've got Interact clubs, you've got Key clubs. And Interact actually stands for International Acts of Kindness. And so they're looking for volunteer activities to connect with. And this is a good project for those, like King's Christian School, Gloucester County Christian,
Right.
Pilgrim. They pack. And so there are a lot of student groups around. Some colleges groups will pick it up. So you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
So the local church collects and then they take it to a distribution center. Is that right?
So in an area, or let's just say your church collected, right?
Yeah.
You take all the boxes at the end of church one day, you load them up in the backs of people's cars. You can go online. There's a lookup tool for where's a drop off, and you put your zip code and you get to see in every direction, where all the drop offs are. So in my area, we have 7 this year. The goal is to never have to go beyond 15, 20 minutes. You try to make it convenient for all the churches and people. We know people are busy, but you don't have to drop off. It might be in the area where your zip code, is, or it might be there's one closer, right here. I've had people that dropped off because it was close to where they live, not where they worship. And it's just, they do what's convenient for them.
That's great. So with all the different, you mentioned all the different counties and everything like that. So you're in charge of the 3, Camden and Burlington, right? You said Burlington? No?
I didn't.
Oh, no.
I'm
That's
out of
us.
area.
Stupid Maple Shade.
I used to be on this
I
team.
know, right? I live in Merchantville, so that's Camden County. So, sorry.
Yeah. Exactly, right? People are all over. So Jen and Harry Otto are in charge of the Burlington Ocean County team.
Okay.
And good friends of mine, right? We're all on the same team here, right?
Absolutely.
So you don't keep score like we got more boxes than you.
Oh, come on. You have to. You have to.
A little.
100%. And you would write it with a little pencil, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
with no eraser.
Exactly. As long as
Can't
that was in the lead.
Right. At least you can't change that number.
So you said it's presenting the gospel. So how are you presenting the gospel with these boxes besides, hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
You tell me. I don't know.
No, I would love to. So think about how on this end of the box, there's volunteers, right, on these year-round teams, right? I just told you we have 19 now on our team, not to mention all the people in churches who are packing, right?
Right.
Well, on the other side of the shoebox, and this blew my mind because I didn't know this till 2020. On the other side of the shoebox, in all these 118 countries, there are volunteers there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And through the years, they've gotten more and more, and they've trained so many people. There are hundreds of thousands of teachers now that are trained to give the gospel. And there's these giant flip books, that are colorful and exciting for the kids. Every box is given with the gospel. And so they hold these, children activities, these outreach events, and they invite kids, right? They strategically try to do them in different areas. And so these teachers go and they hold this event, and many times kids show up and don't even know they're going to get a gift.
That's cool.
Back at the beginning, like around 1993, the 90s, early 2000s, it was come and get a gift. So people came for the gift. But nowadays, it seems like they just invite the kids to an event at church, but it's something that draws them because it's a big event. Then they give the gospel. They share about Jesus. And after that, they whip shoe boxes from under like a tablecloth or something. And then it's like even more exciting.
Right.
The gospel's always given.
That's awesome.
And the exciting thing to think about, going back to the boxes Marc had brought up about the building online boxes, those go to hard to reach areas where they got to be really careful about what they're putting in them. They're not just going to let anything, there's a list of 200 things, right? You could put in a box. But for some areas, their customs are much more, stringent. They got to be way more careful. And that's why we build them online. They can say exactly, it's only this stuff that's in here. And so they get through. They're also hard to reach sometimes because they're not open to the gospel in every country.
So they just deny
So
your request to send them.
These areas, they kind of have to get in more under like the umbrella of we have gifts for your children.
Okay.
And a lot of, countries, they're poorer countries. They want
They'll
their
take it.
children to have the gifts. And so at places like that, what I've heard at some is the government will even send people there to watch them, right? And they do the distribution. They don't give the gospel there, but they get the names and the addresses of people. And then they will take the next however long it takes and go home by home sharing the gospel. So the gospel gets out one way or another.
That's awesome.
It's
My
I was
favorite
not
part was
expecting to
Katrina's mouth wide open. If you're not
Thanks a
watching
lot.
on YouTube,
Man,
go back, watch
why
it.
do I do this?
I don't
Why
know.
do I come here?
Nobody knows. I just tell you what's
incredible.
going on, and you
Here,
show
we're
up.
just doing a pod. Like we're just sitting around. But
Yeah.
man, wow.
People actually do things.
People actually do things.
So are the boxes all sent internationally, or do they ever give them out domestically to underserved areas in the United States?
Yeah. So I think back in the day, I don't know if this happens anymore. Like the Navajo and the Indian areas, in the United States would get shoe boxes.
Okay.
I don't know that happens anymore, but you know that if a kid got a box full of a toothbrush, pencils, and maybe one stuffed animal, kids here wouldn't.
They would just
really.
trash
They
it.
would say this isn't like a PlayStation. What number are we up to now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
5.
But
Sorry.
the places that these boxes go are some of the poorest in the world.
Yeah.
I know we just had a missionary a few weeks ago talking about like Nairobi, Kenya and the slums. And just, I mean, people are living in like whole families in like these just metal 10 by 10, areas with nothing. And
How does it get there physically? Like they don't have
the infrastructure.
I'm not trying to make it small, but they don't have
Yeah.
USPS, driving. So
Yeah.
how do they physically get the boxes to those kids?
I mean, it's a labor of love, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the boxes leave here either by boat or mostly by plane.
Okay.
We have, the international team, right? We have people that work on how to ship it out of our country. And we have people that work on making the connections with those 118 or whatever countries to get them ready to accept. Once they get in and pass customs, the local team needs to come.
Gotcha.
Whether it's with a tractor trailer, a pickup, whatever, and they get them to a location where they can start distributing to all the things they've planned over the year.
Right.
I mean, I have seen people carrying up mountains, right? You've got canoes, that they take them on. Some of these go into the deep jungles where vehicles can't even get to. But the majority, I'm sure, go with
their
trucks
team that's connected to whatever you guys and things like that make that happen.
Yeah,
on that
so
end.
That's why it's so important. They have these, the volunteers on the other side. So there's the big teams. Every team has like 6 members, and then they train teachers. But they have like a prayer, just like we've got a prayer team. They've got their prayer guy who bathes everything. Because number one, everything's got to start with prayer, and so that's always just first. They've said if we ever tried to import what we're writing to go out, the United States would never let these boxes in. They're written so generally, right? We're so tough here. That we get this stuff to go into all these countries is just amazing. But our team, like you probably know, you get in certain countries, you got to give bribes to get things by. Samaritan's Purse won't do that. They're gonna hold the line. They're gonna do it right, and they're gonna wait, and that's where the prayer comes in, right? Yeah. There was a time that Mexico said no to soccer balls, and I think it was stuffed animals. Like almost every box has one of those, right? So they prayed and they sent a team down there to talk, and God just opened the door. God is just so good.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
They said no to soccer balls. That's crazy.
That's like
They wanted you to buy their own soccer.
Yeah, right. If you had just called them footballs, you could have got in there. I got to be honest. I think that's where you guys messed up. I don't know about the stuffed animals. I don't know what that's all about. They probably thought there was going to be cocaine in it or something. Like that would be my guess, but what do I know? I don't know about cocaine.
this is a church podcast.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Bill.
Saw another movie one time.
Yeah, just one.
All right.
Yeah. So, stupid Disney movies. God.
So now you were talking about the boots on the ground in the different countries. Are they all Samaritan's Purse people, or does Samaritan Purse partner with local missionaries that are already there and have established ministries? Say, hey, we're coming in, and that they're already there and working, or does Samaritan's Purse have ministries at every one of these locations that they?
Yeah, so all their teams are their people, but then the teachers that they're training often are missionaries or teachers in schools, or I know just from a missionary in our church that the wife and the daughter went and got the training so that they could be presenters. So everyone that's part of this is getting the full training, which is why the $10, that's the suggested donation, that's part of it, is helping train all those hundreds of thousands of teachers on the other side. It's shipping it here. It's having the processing centers and all the materials they need. It's the tractor trailers, moving them here in our country. It's shipping them now to another country. All the materials, we said the gospel goes with every box. Well, they've actually translated it into 118 languages. So far, they even this year got it in Braille. I mean, they're always working to get the gospel out, to more kids and in better ways and figuring out. They're doing 10 more languages right now. So,
wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
That's amazing. It really is. So as far as you're saying with all the boots on the ground and everything, and then you mentioned at your church missionaries, what church do you go to?
Yeah, I'm at Victory Bible in Hamilton right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that like a big send-off place, or like, your church is not in your territory though, right?
It's Atlantic County. Yeah.
Okay.
My church is not where I live is not in my territory, but my church is.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So believe it or not, we're gearing up right now for a packing party at my church. I was just there before I came here.
Oh, nice.
And Saturday night, we are planning to pack over 1,000 shoe boxes in the gym.
Wow.
So obviously, when you talk about year round, something that's prepared for all year. Because it's just so much stuff, and you got to keep your eye out for sales, and it's exciting.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're not a drop off where other churches drop off to us. The funny thing about Victory is right next door is Calvary Chapel Hamilton. They're our drop off.
They're your drop off.
No,
that works out. That's convenient.
yeah, because otherwise getting 1,000 boxes and this is a real challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How many people will it take to do that?
How many are probably coming to the packing party? I would say between 70 and 100 will probably come.
And you'll be there all night, or you'll be there
6 to 8, so people won't be like,
I can't
too
do
late.
that. But really, we know it's more like 6 to 10.
Yeah, you can be honest, because this is going to air after that party, so you're fine. Nobody's going to know.
Exactly.
It's going to be 8 hours, but they don't know yet.
Working into the morning.
We're handing out toothpicks at church the next day.
Yeah.
Hold those eyes open.
Excellent. Well, we are going to take a break. We will be back with Dori in just a few minutes. Enjoy this commercial, or don't.
Welcome to Emmanuel Baptist Church, where our focus has been building strong lives in Jesus Christ since 1925, right here in Maple Shade, New Jersey. With 2 Sunday services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., you can choose the time that works best for you. And if you have children, our Greenhouse Kids Ministry and Nursery are available during the 11 a.m. service, so you can worship without distractions. But that's not all. On Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., we offer Sunday school classes for all ages. And if you're looking for a midweek pick-me-up, we have a variety of events on Wednesday nights. For more information on all of our programs and events, visit our website at ibclife.org. Follow us on social media and check out our weekly bulletin. And there's one more way to stay connected with us. Download our Church Center app. With this convenient app, you can stay up to date on all of our events and register for programs. Emmanuel Baptist Church, building strong lives in Jesus Christ.
Welcome back. So anyway, we were talking to Dori about Operation Child Christmas Cow
Shoebox.
Operation Christmas Child.
Oh, good.
Operation Christmas Child. Samaritan's Purse.
I have heard it called Operation Shoebox, and I just got to laugh.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I like that. Anyway, so what we were talking about is on the break, bringing up Franklin Graham, because we showed 2 commercials so far at church during the announcement time. And Franklin Graham gets up there and he's like, you should do this.
Pretty good Franklin Graham.
I look more like Billy Graham now. Anyway, so sorry. I'm making fun of your leader. I'm just kidding. So, Mark, you had an interesting story about Franklin Graham's
No, his son.
No,
So
I know, but I wanted
Edward-
to use the word Graham in there. Billy Graham's grandson?
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah.
Oh,
Graham.
Bill.
So Franklin
Oh,
Graham
my
is the son of Billy Graham, who most people know as the evangelist that was world famous throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Maybe
I
even
think
before
that's
that.
how my dad came to know
Yeah,
the Lord.
and well, I know he was
Wow.
instrumental in,
Yeah.
in my dad and accepting Christ
Yeah.
as well.
Wow.
And so it's interesting to think like the current generation, like our kids that are in college and things like that, may or may not have even heard of Billy
Yeah.
Graham, and he was kind of a ubiquitous name in the
So true.
in the
He's
80s.
using big words.
Yeah. I'll tell you later what that means.
Thank you.
But and then so Franklin started Samaritan's Purse, and then now his son Edward is kind of stepped in as the COO, and it was interesting because I heard his testimony recently of he started off at Liberty University and then left Liberty and went to West Point and then served as a combat ranger for like 16 years,
Ooh.
and then got called to leave after 16 years, which nobody leaves the military after 16 years because you're 4 years away from a pension.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
But still had God's call to come back
Yeah.
and take kind of take over and help out as now kind of the number 2 Samaritan's Purse. So hearing his testimony was really pretty amazing. So yeah, it's just been
And you
interesting.
said you heard it on
He came back to Liberty and
The
spoke at
Liberty
Convocation, and I had
Convocation,
seen the YouTube of that, and I
I'll
thought
have
that
to
was
look
really
that up.
yeah, it was really
Watch that.
interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it was kind of a challenging thing of saying, hey, be open to God's call and do what be
So-
willing to do what He's calling you to do, whether it made sense or not at the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
um,
Right.
Franklin Graham actually didn't start this. It is
Good
his
job, Mark.
ministry. No, but let me just tell
Yeah,
you,
no,
because
please.
I call it the ministry that if it wasn't for God, wouldn't have
Right.
ever happened.
Right.
In 1993, he got a phone call from a guy in England who said, like, I forget what war was it Bosnia? The Bosnian War, I think, was happening then.
Sure.
And
I'll believe it.
history wasn't our big thing at school, right?
We went to Baptist High.
Look up Kosovo.
So
I can't even spell that.
So actually, I funny story. I went in college. It was during that conflict in Kosovo. Was a city, right? That they were, and it was all over the news. And literally in one of the classes, it wasn't a history class. I think it was a chemistry class. One of my classmates raises his hand and randomly goes, "Who is Kosovo, and why do they keep talking about him?" and the professor just looked at him with this look of and this was chemistry. It wasn't even. He just looked at him with this look of disdain, like I have nothing to say to you at this point. You were helpless. So we digress.
Yeah.
So he gets this phone call from this guy in England who says, this war's been going on, and I'd really like to be able to help the children of Bosnia this Christmas. Do you think you could get some shoe boxes full of, gifts for the kids? And he made that phone call in July. And Franklin Graham said, yeah, sure, that's a great idea. Well, a week before Thanksgiving, the guy calls back. The secretary comes in and goes, you're in trouble. And he got on the phone. And when he said, hey, how many have you collected so far? He said, we're working on that. I'll get back to you in a couple days. He had forgotten. Yeah. So he called a pastor he knew right down the road. I think it was Calvary Chapel, Charlotte.
Okay.
And he called the person in charge of Samaritan's Purse in Canada. And he said, find one church. And they announced that Sunday to 2 congregations, about this project. And they're like, we want to bring joy to the kids for Christmas in this war-torn place. And a few days after Sunday, the pastor called Franklin Graham up and said, you better send somebody to start getting these boxes. They're all over. They are, in the gym and in the hallway and in the Sunday school rooms. And he went, oh, good. You got a couple hundred? And he went, a couple hundred? We already have 11,000.
Wow.
The first year, they almost collected 30,000 or something.
Oh, my
2 churches.
goodness.
2 churches in a week.
Wow.
This is a very abbreviated version of the story, right? I might have not have every detail perfect, but it's very close. Anyway, all that to say, I just feel like God has had his hand on this.
Oh, yeah.
Like it so easily could have been, I'm so sorry, I forgot.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's done. But he could see like this, and he went and distributed them, which had a huge impact on his life.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it was just like God saw them through. I mean, it really, it's a book that I read, right, that tells these stories. But like there were literally soldiers that they had to go through to drop these off. And God caused a deep fog to come the one night where they were in the most dangerous place. And it made it almost impossible for them to go. But they kept going. And the next day they realized if the fog hadn't been there, they would have probably not made it. So like
Oh,
God saw them
wow.
through in the hardest of situations.
Mhm.
And I just think, God has his hand on the ministry, which is obvious when you're like realizing that like 12 million or so are collected in a year,
Yeah.
this kind of thing. And yet we're barely scratching the surface
Yeah.
of children who need to hear the Lord, which just blows my mind. How do
Yeah.
you do with big numbers like that? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just
He is
Yeah.
the wrong person.
mind.
Man, you're coming at me tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what's up. I
Yeah,
apologize.
no, it's Thursday, not Wednesday. So
Yeah.
I'm usually here on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
You must get spicier as you get closer to the weekend.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty much.
Do you ever get any testimonials back?
Yeah,
Do you ever-
definitely. There's
Yeah.
such an impact. I mean,
I was going to say that must be encouraging to hear.
so some
personal
people
stories.
have gotten like letters, and I'm on, all kinds of Facebook pages. There's all kinds of Facebook pages for Operation
Mhm.
Christmas Child you could go on. And when people get a letter back, they're so excited. I actually have a friend named Sue. She's deaf, but she packs shoe boxes. And one year she packed a whole bunch. They went to Malawi. She ended up getting, I forget if it was like 7 letters back. And she now goes to Malawi every year. She has made, I don't know what it's called, drilled 2 wells
Oh,
in the
wow.
area. She has, she supports a pastor that goes
Wow.
around different areas.
Mhm.
She supports a preschool, bought them like tables and chairs last year. She now bought land and they're going to work on farming like
Oh, my
sweet
goodness.
potato or something.
And
type
she's
thing.
from here?
Yeah, she's from down the shore area.
Oh.
And this
And where
all
is
came out of
Malawi?
shoebox. I know, right?
Can you pull out a map for us, Bill?
Here,
I thought I once went surfing there. Apparently.
Wrong Maui.
Very different.
Okay. It was either that or do a Moana joke.
So where is Malawi?
Why you doing? Why you asking me?
Sorry, I thought you.
This is great. God.
it's Africa.
Oh.
It's down,
We all know I'm
down.
not good with that place. Okay, I don't know where that place is. Okay, anyway, so
That's
she's
amazing. though.
from here and now she's buying land there.
I mean,
And
yeah,
is she gonna live there?
loves the kid. No, she
No.
lives here. She goes and visits once a year.
Wow,
She finds the need. She gives hugs to all the children. She goes, sees everyone.
that's
and
incredible.
yeah, she sews dresses. I know another church. I was at their packing party this week, Corbin City
Mm.
Baptist.
Mm.
They have an amazing ministry of sewing dresses for the kids.
Wow.
But apparently, Sue said a lot of these kids, that's their one thing, and then they wear it all year. Like it's the places these
Man.
boxes go, the need
Yeah, they
is
just
so
don't
great.
have it.
Well, and I think one of the cool things about Samaritan's Purse and Operation Christmas Child is it's really something that isn't controversial, right? I mean,
Mhm.
Christianity in America at times is, it can be polarized. It shouldn't be, but it can be polarizing and it can take a lot of flack. And around the world, there's a lot of persecution, of Christians.
Yeah.
And it seems like even in our very polarized society that we have politically,
Mhm.
that when you talk about, and Franklin Graham at times will make political statements and, and there'll be that issue where people will be like disagreeing with him for political stances. But when it comes to Operation Christmas Child, it seems like you pretty much don't hear anybody criticize it, right? It's,
Mm.
Man, that's a pretty hard thing to criticize.
well, but-
Like, hey, I'm giving
but-
gifts to
but
kids.
it's,
Like,
but
yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. Here it is
Yeah.
that
You're right.
that the church is ministering to children, giving them this gift, but at the same point in time, exposing them and giving them the most important
Mhm.
gift.
It's in the name
And-
of Jesus,
right? Exactly.
right?
And
Mhm.
and this meeting the needs both physically and spiritually, And the world can look at it and go, hey, that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so,
Mhm.
it's one of those things where there's not many of those things left.
Mhm.
Right. That there's so many things that are like, oh, well, yeah, but this or this. And this was
Yeah.
I really haven't heard a lot of people coming at going, well, there's this underbelly of the, no, I mean, it's just literally like you said, Bill,
It brings people
how can
together.
you sit there and
Right.
criticize this? And boy, we need more of that.
Mhm.
We need more
Yeah.
of this. Let's forget the political misgivings. Let's focus on ministering to people
Mm-hmm.
and sharing the gospel. And again, it's one of those things that's almost not arguable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to see this at as large of a scale as it is just an encouragement.
It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes me think about this isn't Operation Christmas Child, but in COVID, remember COVID? There, of course we do.
What? We have a doctor here. Did you learn that?
After you read about Kosovo, then you read about COVID. Yeah, they're similar, but they're not the same.
Yeah, and
read it
look
to
at a
me.
map and
need you to
look
read
at
it
where
to me.
Malawi is.
Yeah.
Wow, we're learning a lot.
Exactly.
But I remember
I
that
didn't know I have to do all this learning. Oh,
research night here.
yeah, right?
The teams would blow up hospitals and go and serve. But whatever they do it in the name of Jesus through Samaritan's Purse. They work with, veterans and wounded, warriors and wounded in their lives, right? It doesn't have to be physical,
Right.
but it's the couples they take to Alaska and they do these amazing retreats, and everything they do is always centered around.
And I hadn't even heard
Jesus.
about the veteran aspect until today when I was actually looking at their website and saw that ministry. I was like, I didn't even know that existed.
Oh,
Yeah,
Great.
it's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
cool one.
Yeah.
Mark always does his homework.
He
Um,
does.
I'm
That's why-
impressed.
That's
yeah,
why he's
I
a
am too.
doctor.
Yeah, we like him. We'll keep him around.
I can see why you'll keep him around.
The
You get a bump
podcast
in
needs
pay,
to have
baby.
some brains
Double
to
my
it.
pay.
It's 0. So another thing you guys were talking about that I find awesome is you put your email. So tell me about
Yeah.
if you have an email. So if you have an email, first thing you want to do is subscribe to this podcast.
And how do we do that?
Hit subscribe, dagnabbit, or follow. I don't know. God, I apologize. God. Who
Yeah,
cares?
so
He's desperate for subscribers.
What are the
I really am.
He just
I'm still deciding whether I want to subscribe or not.
Katrina did like an episode like 30.
I know.
So many episodes. Anyway,
I just
continue.
didn't want to do it.
It's a commitment.
Yeah, it's like too much.
Do I want to hear myself? Nah.
I don't
Go
want to
ahead.
hear Bill. Go ahead.
Well, then I appreciate that you want to hear me. That's
Yes,
so nice.
I'd much rather talk to you. Go ahead.
Everybody would.
One of the options we have with the shoe boxes when we put the label on is there's this like a QR code you can scan. When you do that, you can put in your email
There we go.
right there, and when you pay through that, it tracks your box. So when it heads to Baltimore, somebody boop scans it, and now whenever it knows what country it's going to head to. When we're in Baltimore, we're packing for like last year when I went, we packed for South Africa all day.
Mm.
And so they know everything's scanned that day, it's heading to South Africa. Well, when you pay online and you're able to track your box, you can see where your boxes go. And so I've been doing this since 2014. And I'll just give like a couple, right? More than a couple.
Yeah,
But,
give
some of my
Let's hear.
several
from my country,
places
right?
there.
I've got
Bill doesn't know
Zambia.
where they are.
Oh, we
That's
could play like a
everybody's.
geography game right now.
Game on. Let's go.
All right, let's
We
do
do
it.
Zambia,
Nope.
Yeah.
Colombia,
Nope.
Togo,
Maybe.
I
Namibia.
just touched your phone. I'm so sorry.
Madagascar.
Madagascar. I've seen that.
There you go. Yeah.
Dominican Republic.
Okay. A good baseball player. Big
Yeah.
Poppy.
We've got Peru, Ghana, Malawi, oh,
Malawi.
Yeah. See, you got it.
Ecuador. But it's just so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and I just did it online, and we have Liberia, Tanzania, Peru, Malawi again, Ukraine, which obviously is,
Nice.
and this
Yeah.
this would have been since the war started. So
Wow.
Ecuador, Togo, Ghana. So yeah, that's from
That's awesome.
2018 on. Yeah, that's it's
Did
encouraging
you
to see
know
that.
it was there before we
Not
looked?
till you just told me about it. No,
so
yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
So
I have to do this
What-
now on my own.
yeah.
What's the website? Do we?
Listen,
Shoot.
I just so you
No,
The
just
QR, you said there's a QR
yeah,
code. You scan that,
the
and that's
code,
what
it
you should
sets
do.
it up. But then all I ever do is type in a search in
Right.
Google.
Yeah,
Follow my shoebox.
if you
Yeah, if you
find
follow
my
my
shoebox
shoebox,
or
okay.
follow my shoebox, right?
Yeah.
All my shoebox.
OCC. Follow my shoebox, OCC, and then boom, it's right there.
Okay. And you can track.
You track your box.
That's so cool.
You're making a difference in
And
all
one of the
those
places
countries.
that you said, it said hard to reach area,
yeah.
which doesn't even have a name. So you
So
don't know where that is.
no, and the
technically.
cool thing for me this year was that just happened for me this July. So I hadn't looked since
Mhm.
December. And I was like, yay, they went to Ghana and South Africa this year. And then before I was preparing for a podcast, I was looking, doing all my homework, trying
Yeah.
to make
You
sure
and Mark.
Me and
Yeah.
Mark. And I'm like, oh, in July, I had another shoebox go to a hard to reach area.
Ah.
And so whether it's hard to reach, for customs or because, the gospel isn't, they're not open to the gospel, they're not allowed to say that country's name. So we don't know what the country is,
Mhm.
right? It
Wow.
could be somewhere in the middle of Asia. It could be certain Africa countries.
Yeah.
So many of the African countries we see here, but not all are open,
Wow.
and so.
It's so crazy. It's so wild to think about that because of the world that we live in.
Here.
Right. Yes.
You mean
Right.
America?
And
Our
yeah.
freedoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our freedoms. So you think like this box that I made, I touched these toys to put them in there, and it's in a place where it says hard to reach because they can't get it or they don't want anyone to know, that it was there because of certain
Awesome.
political things.
Yeah.
It's just, it kind of like brings it to the surface of how big the world is and how many areas can use
Different
prayer
world. Yeah.
and use that. Yeah,
I mean, maybe it's just me, and it probably is. But
it usually is.
thank you. So you figure 181 countries, but there's like each life behind each box,
Mhm.
right? I mean, every box is a real child. I mean,
Child,
that's pretty
It's pretty substantial in your heart.
substantial.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You said 12 million boxes. Is that the number we have last year?
Yeah. It was around 12 million. The statistics that Operation Christmas Child believes is that every one box doesn't just impact one child, but usually impacts 7 to 10 other lives as well.
Okay.
The impact goes beyond the box, and that's what's so cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's great, to pack a box with your children.
Yeah.
And not just because of, the obvious, like we're packing this for a ministry but
Yeah.
also because we are so blessed in America. And like you
Mhm.
said earlier, how, if you gave that box even to some of the poorest people in our country, it would still be like, really? It's what
Yeah.
and to get your kids to understand, hey, the stuff in this box is going to be exciting
Mm-hmm.
and in some ways life-changing to
Mhm.
somebody, and hopefully the perspective change that I can give them of, whoa, this would be, and to realize, yeah, I mean, you are blessed
Yeah.
beyond your wildest imagination
Yeah.
to live in this country and to have what you have, where even many of the have-nots, most of the have-nots in America have more than
Yeah.
a lot of the people in these countries that
Mhm.
these boxers are going to. And not that poverty is not a problem in America. I'm
Right.
not trying to downgrade that, but it's the relative nature of that.
Yeah.
And
Have access to so
right,
much more
right.
even.
And so it's so I mean, I think we've done that some of the years with our kids to
Yeah.
sit there and say, hey, and think about where this is going
Mhm.
and what's going. And yeah, because it's like, really this, yeah, yes, you'd be disappointed on Christmas Day
Right.
after you open this box,
Yeah.
but they're not going to be.
Yeah.
And
They're,
just
you
to
see
think
the
about,
videos, right? They're
yeah.
jumping
Yeah.
around, screaming. They're
Yeah.
so happy. I mean, let's be honest. You go with your little kids to the store, and sometimes it's like, no, I want that. I
Right.
want that.
Right.
But we have to teach our kids to be
Right.
giving
Mhm.
people, to be generous.
Mhm.
And this is a great thing to do with your kids. I agree. I've been through all the stages. One year my daughter decided for her birthday, she would just get stuff for shoe boxes, right? So we've had it's tough, to do together and then get there. And now she's at Liberty and
She's running the OCC at Liberty, isn't she?
she's the president of the
Oh, that
OCC
is so
club.
cool.
And they've been distributing. Last night at Camp Com, they gave out The second time, they gave out 500 the first time, and last night another 450 at campus community, along with having thousands around, for kids just to pick up anytime, and several packing parties of different groups have happened on campus. It's so exciting. But yeah, our kids learn, and my son's on the team as well, the Operation Christmas. It's a whole family thing apparently now. But it is neat
But that's
to
awesome.
see.
Yeah, you have quite a legacy you're working on with this.
Yeah. Props to you.
Absolutely.
Props to God, because we know our kids can go all different directions, right?
Yeah.
We can do everything right, or we can do everything wrong, and God's got it,
Yep.
It's got to be all
I'm
God.
texting my son right now, tell him to get over there and get one of those boxes.
He's my favorite teenager at Liberty, I think. I love John. He's awesome. Anyway,
Absolutely.
I'm just giving a shout out to John because
He'll love that.
he wants to be on the podcast so bad.
Cool.
Every
No,
time I
no,
tell
he's
him
not
I'm on
gonna
this
be.
shit, every time I tell him, he's like,
There you go.
Bill still hasn't asked me to be on there.
It ain't
I
happening,
was like,
baby.
you need to be more interesting, John.
That's what I tell him. I love the kid,
One of
but
your kids has a YouTube channel, don't they?
John. So he can do his own thing. I haven't been on that one. I've never ridden an elevator with him.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true.
I subscribed.
Did you really?
I'm pretty
You subscribed
sure.
to that one. No question. This one, it took it 30 episodes. I'm sorry, Dory.
So, John Elevator fan, check it out. So there's a plug for his
Very interesting.
It isn't.
Will that make him even happier? Than
Yeah,
just
he
being
might-
on
he
our
might-
show? He's having a great night.
I tell you.
No, he's a
Yeah.
terrible. No, I take everything back. I like Nathan more. So, anyway, let's get back into the heart of it. I
Topic.
apologize, everybody. So you had a couple cool stories that you were telling us. So we'll bring you down now that we just brought you up. No, I'm just kidding. So give us some heartfelt stories that
Yeah.
have touched and what a difference it's actually made.
Yeah. So when I think about what God can do through the box, it's just, you hear these impact stories and it's just amazing. One of my favorites is there was, volunteer on the other side wanted to distribute in this area. And on the one side of the road, there was a Christian community. On the other side of the road, there was a Muslim community, and they were enemies. They didn't even speak, right? It was rough. And so they knew whichever side they go to, they would be cutting off the other half.
Right.
And that person decided they were going to have a distribution event right in the middle of the road. Now, I'm guessing the roads aren't like our road right here on Main Street.
Yeah, that would be a little scary.
Yeah.
But it was honestly brilliant. And kids from both sides came, and the gospel was preached. And what ended up happening was just a beautiful mending of the community, because the Muslim side ended up offering the Christians land to build a church on. And these are the types of stories that we hear that come out of a box. It's like it was a shoebox. We sent a little box full of stuff, and God planted a church in a Muslim community. I mean, how did that happen? God,
That's
right?
amazing.
Prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one of my favorites.
That's amazing.
Another one I've heard, this comes out of Southeast Asia. A distribution event was done. Pastor's going home. He's got 2 shoeboxes left in his car, and he sees 2 kids selling peanuts on the side of the road. Sorry.
Okay.
And stops the car, goes over, gives them the shoeboxes, and gives the gospel. And the one little boy says, I believe that. And he trusted in Christ right then on the side of the road. Well, that pastor found out a few days later that boy was killed. He was hit by a car.
Oh,
And he was able to go to his home where his mother and grandfather lived. And he assured them that that little boy was in heaven. And it brought the whole family came to know the Lord through that. And again, that was just through a shoebox. Like,
yeah.
God uses these tiny little gifts and just does eternal things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's amazing. Especially, like, if you think of, like, the eternal aspect of it.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
each one is, sure.
Yeah.
You get a little pencil, but you can also,
Have eternal life.
have eternal life.
Yeah.
And just the way it touches, It's cool. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, was it MasterCard that was like priceless, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love what you said earlier about one box, not just to one child, but
Mhm.
7 to 8 people, and just this idea of, you know, by reaching children, you really are reaching families,
Yes.
you know, and how that just opens the door, you know, when families see children that have been touched and reached,
Mhm.
you really are touching, you know, and reaching out to the heart of that family, right?
Yeah.
And showing the love of God that way. And it's just it is those stories are just, I mean, they're amazing. Really, it is. It just shows the power of, you know, as you know, man's perspective is like, oh, it's a box of
Right.
trinkets,
Mhm.
Right.
you know, and but it's not. It's not.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who wants
It
a
is so much more
washcloth?
than that.
Right.
Who wants a fork?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you know,
Right.
it's a bouncy ball.
Yeah. But,
But no,
it's more than that.
it's a tool in the hand of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
We need more stories like that. Not the second, the
Right
first
now.
one. The first
Tell
one.
us some good.
I mean, in the world, that the story,
Yeah.
that, you know, give the
Right.
Muslim community giving them land for a church. That's really powerful. They're both very powerful, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of times you just always hear the negative.
that's what
It's
I mean.
Always the
Right. And I like to believe that's how we can coexist. That's how we should be coexisting, you know.
Let's hear your thoughts on that.
No, that's it. We're done.
No. Well,
Well, thank you for sharing that.
yeah, and thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. And
Thanks for having me. This was great.
oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Right.
you
And again, I mean, I think
Oh.
it's great to know that another thing I learned tonight was the fact that it's kind of a year-round thing, right? So
Yeah.
if for some reason, you know, you're hearing this podcast and it's past the Christmas season, you can still go, you can still give the money, you can still pick a box online to put together,
Absolutely.
and that will still go out and minister. You didn't miss your window. You don't have to
Mhm.
wait till next year and put a reminder in your phone about it.
Mhm.
That this is something you can participate in all year round. And I think that's really that's great. I honestly I thought it was an October to mid-November
Mhm.
thing, and
Yeah,
to
me
know
too.
that it's a year-round thing is really
Yeah.
has been eye-opening.
Is
Yeah,
there
I'm definitely
a
gonna do one
way
now then.
people can get involved? I mean, whoever's doing it at our church, I just want to thank them. I don't
Mhm.
know who it is.
I don't know either.
I guess I should have figured that found out before I had her on.
But maybe they don't want you to know.
Oh.
You know, I mean, it could just be. I mean,
That's true.
again,
now they're sitting
it's-
there like, oh, I want.
I mean, give the
Yeah.
box and and make
No,
sure.
no.
And I believe our drop off date was November 16th, or is November 16th. So
Was November 16th.
so, but again, if you missed the drop off date, they're still going online and giving
Yeah,
to it
absolutely.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there a place where people can go and help out and do anything like that?
Yeah.
Like how?
Anytime you
Okay.
don't know what to do for this ministry, you can
Yes.
go to, I think it's SamaritansPurse.org/OCC,
Okay.
and you'll find out everything you need, including how to pack, click
Yeah.
the button to how to pack a box online. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Am I,
Very cool.
Am I like, does Samaritan's Purse do anything else besides OCC?
So much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I mean,
sorry.
no. It's amazing all the things they do.
Okay.
Mark actually was on the website today, so he might know more than I know. There's
Mark.
like a heart thing, right?
Right.
There's the veteran's spouse thing. They help
Oh, okay.
the whenever there is something in the war, like a world, like an earthquake, or we just had the hurricane. Was it a hurricane
Yeah.
in Jamaica?
Yes.
They're there. They're there
Yeah.
now.
If you go to their
Mm.
website, the main thing on their website right now is Hurricane Melissa relief in Jamaica,
Yeah.
which just happened last
They're
week.
the
So
first
they're
one
they're on the
everywhere.
ground first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's and then you had mentioned earlier, I think during the break when we were talking about the fact that if there is somebody who comes to Christ through Operation Christmas Child, there is a discipleship program that they come in behind 12-week course that they come in and teach more. It's not just here's the gospel, move on.
Yeah, and honestly, they might not always accept Christ right at the event.
Right.
But they're invited to come to that 12-week discipleship course. And these courses, the first, I think, 6 weeks or so, they're giving you, the basics about, we're sinners and
Mm.
faith in Jesus. The next 3 talk about discipleship, which I do think is something that's lacking in a lot of, our churches, teaching our kids to be disciples of Jesus. The last 3 lessons out of 12, this is a quarter of the curriculum, is about going and sharing. And that's another thing that we're nervous, right? They are bold. Yeah. They learn to be bold witnesses for Jesus. And so this 12-week discipleship program is called The Greatest Journey. If you want to support that part of the ministry, it's $6 extra. So you can, when you track your box, it'll ask you, do you want to add $6 for The Greatest Journey too or not? And that's up to you. But like you said, there's people that are just supporting through money online, because let's be honest, not every box is covered with $10. We asked that, but some people, you just don't have anything left, but you still want to send the box. Right. So you send the box and you're trusting that God will provide, the funds. And I think I read in my notes that like every year, there's more boxes, but it's not always more funds, right? And then now, like last year or whatever, the gas, to get to deliver everything was so much more. So the discrepancy between the two gets larger. So I appreciate you bringing up, again, that it's never too late to go help fund these things and to support the ministry online, and it's needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Well, thanks again. And so hopefully Dori's a new subscriber. Anyway, thank you, everybody.
Watching.
Aww. Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.